Okay. So thank you all for joining me for a 60-minute Yin Yoga class today. If we haven't met, my name is Holly. If you've never done Yin before, the idea is it's long holds of posture. So if you've ever heard the term like yin and yang or yin and yang, right? Yang or yang energy tends to be more like solar, intense. You're moving around a lot. In yoga, that would be like a vinyasa class or a Bikram hot yoga class. Yin, on the other hand, is meant to be more relaxed, slow, it's lunar. And I actually think in some ways it's harder. You know, we often in vinyasa or in 26 and 2 yoga, you're holding a posture for like 30 seconds and, you know, pushing as far as you can go. But in Yin, you're holding longer, which I think actually takes a little bit more, it's more of a mental challenge to hold still for longer, or at least it is for me. And the cool thing about Yin is you do a little bit less, like you do 70% of what you think you should be doing, but you actually end up getting more out of it. So, you know, when you hold a posture for like 30 seconds, right, you're strengthening muscles, you're stretching muscles, but when you hold a posture for like 5 minutes, then you work into connective tissue, you work into your joints, into your fascia. So you actually get a deeper stretch, even though you're doing a little bit less. So just keep that in mind during class, especially if you're somebody that likes to like push yourself to your maximum at all times. Just use Yin as an invitation to like slow down a little bit, do a little bit less, just remind yourself that you're doing enough, that you are enough. Great. So we'll start with a breathing exercise called 4-7-8 breathing. You might have done it before. The premise is pretty simple. You inhale through your nose for 4 seconds, hold the inhale for 7 seconds, and then exhale for 8 seconds. Today we'll exhale slowly through the mouth. So again, the idea is you inhale, you pause, and then you exhale a lot longer than you inhaled. It can take a couple of rounds of breath to figure out how quickly to inhale versus exhale. But after like 4 rounds of breath, if you're still finding it super restrictive, you can switch up the pace. You can change it a little bit. So maybe like inhale for 2, hold for 3.5, and exhale for 4. So you still have that same ratio of 4-7-8. The general idea is by exhaling much longer than you inhale, you work into the parasympathetic nervous system. You tell your body that there's no need to fight, flight, or freeze. And by counting, we kind of focus our mind. So it's 2 things at once. You're calming your central nervous system and you're centering your thoughts on your breath. I'll walk us through the first few rounds, and then I'll invite you to practice on your own. So sitting up tall, can start by sealing your lips. You can close your eyes, but if closing your eyes is distracting, you can keep your eyes open. I invite you to practice looking without seeing though, so like a soft fuzzy gaze rather than focusing on objects in front of you. So you'll seal your lips, you can swallow a couple times. Place your tongue at the space on the roof of your mouth just behind your teeth. Exhale completely. And begin. Inhale through your nose for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Open your mouth slightly and slowly exhale through your mouth for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Gently open your mouth into an O shape and slowly exhale through your mouth for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale through your mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll continue for another minute, breathing on your own. Keep your shoulders down, your jaw soft. Let's do one more full round of breath. Whenever you're ready, just seal your lips and return your breath to normal, in and out through your nose. Notice any sensations arising in the body or the mind. Notice any lingering impressions from your day. Just start to drop in a little bit more, feeling your chest rise and fall with your breath. Be here now. If your eyes are closed, take your time, slowly open your eyes, and we'll make our way onto our back for our first posture of the day. So, and if you see me playing with my phone, I'm not ignoring you. I am timing our posture. So the first posture of the day, we're going to hold for 3 minutes, and it's called Bananasana, or banana pose. So just picture in your mind's eye for a moment a banana. Your favorite banana could be fair trade, could be Chiquita, Dole, Trader Joe's, organic, whatever it is. Maybe it's yellow, maybe it's green, maybe it's brown. Just picturing your favorite banana. Okay, bring your feet close together, arms over your head, and slowly bring your feet to the right side of your mat and your arms to the right side of your mat. So from a bird's eye view, you look like a banana. And we're going to hold here for 3 minutes, and I will give you some options. So you're welcome to cross one foot or one hand over the other. You can also bend your arms and catch opposite elbows. To get a deeper stretch, bring your legs and arms closer to the right side of the room. Push your hips to the left. If the stretch is a little too much, you can bring your legs and arms closer to the center line of your body. And then we'll just hold still and breathe. Now, right away, if what you're doing doesn't feel good, feel free to switch it up. And then just see if you can find a little bit of stillness and breath. There's 3 tenets to Yin Yoga, and they're pretty simple. First goal, make a shape. Second goal, hold the shape. Third goal, breathe. That's all it is. Make a shape, hold the shape, breathe. That's all you have to do. Pretty simple. This is a wonderful practice in less is more philosophy. And at times it might feel like you're not doing much, and at other times it might feel really intense, right? Especially as we, hold the posture for longer and longer. So it's just this opportunity, this invitation to slow down, to be with your breath. If you'd like, you can also roll your right ear down towards the floor, looking a little to the right. You have an option to close your eyes open. Again, I invite you to look without seeing. So like a soft, fuzzy gaze, just beyond the tip of your nose. And then start to notice any places where you're maybe holding a little bit of tension. Maybe in your hands or your hips or your abdomen. See if you can relax just a little bit more. So we're trying to relax the muscles rather than constrict them. We've got about a minute left. If you need to go a little deeper or ease up a little bit, feel free, or you can stay right where you are, breathing in and out through your nose. Every exhale, just seeing if you can relax one more part of your body. About 15 seconds left. This is the point if you'd like to go a little deeper. Maybe bring your legs and arms a little bit further to the right side of the room. Feel a nice stretch along the whole left side body. Take a slow inhale. Slow exhale. And slowly bring your arms and legs back to center. Bring your arms back down by your sides. I'm going to turn down my alarm a little bit so it's not so loud. Puddle pose. Close your eyes. Open your arms and legs. Just relax and be still. So one of my other favorite things about Yin is, like in Vinyasa or in 26 and 2 yoga, we would call this posture Savasana or corpse pose or dead body pose. But in Yin, it's called puddle pose. So there's a lot of positions that will be familiar, but the name is a little bit different. And I like this reframing that, Savasana or corpse pose, right? The idea is like you're acting like a dead body, which is a little bit morbid. But in Yin, it's like act like a puddle, right? Just be kind of like loose and light and on the floor. You can spread your limbs out a little bit. Okay, let's do the other side. Bring your feet close together, arms overhead. And this time, bring your arms and legs to the left side of the room. And maybe mirroring what you did on the other side. So if you crossed one foot on the other side, maybe do the same thing here. Maybe catching opposite elbows. Maybe bringing your left ear towards the floor or not. And holding here for 3 minutes as you breathe in and out through the nose. Now, right away, you might notice that this side is different, right? We're not symmetrical, and that's okay. If you need to do a little less or a little more, or change your shape, feel free. And then just find a place where you can hold and breathe. I know some people that love Yin Yoga because there's opportunities for silence. I know other people that hate Yin Yoga because there's opportunities for silence. So I'll try to hold space for both, talking us through part of it, and then just giving yourself some time just to sit with yourself, just to breathe in and out through the nose. Notice if you can relax 1 more inch of your body, sinking everything down into the floor. Let the floor hold you up. We're about halfway through, 1.5 minutes left. If you need to go deeper or ease up or stay right where you are, feel free. About 20 seconds left. This is the point. If you'd like to get a little bit deeper, feel free. Or if you're really uncomfortable, just know that we're almost to the end. You got a nice stretch along the whole right side of the body. Gentle compression to the left side body. Take a slow inhale through your nose. Slow exhale through your nose. And sorry, we'll carefully return back, arms and legs back to the center line of your body, arms down. I keep trying to turn down that alarm and it's still a little loud. So arms and legs down, eyes closed or open, puddle pose, up to you. So again, for those of you that practice 26 and 2 yoga with me, one of the beauties of 26 and 2 yoga, I think, is that it's very specific. Like there's modifications for all of the postures, but they're all very specific commands. And, sometimes that's really nice, right? To have like no doubt, to not have to like decide much, right? You're just doing what you're doing, like locking your knee or touching your head to your knee. Yin is a little bit different. I'll give you tons of different options and variations for every posture. And there's some freedom in that as well, right? So you can really make it your own depending on what you would like today. So for the next posture, we're going to slowly come to a seated position. Start by bending your legs up, so feet on the floor. Let your knees rest together. Take a moment to breathe. Good. Roll to one side. Maybe you're rolling to the right side first. Maybe bend your knees up. Give yourself a hug as you lie on your side. Good. And then carefully put your hands on the floor. Push yourself up and come to a seated position. Lovely. Okay. So next we're going to do straddle pose or dragonfly. So you're going to open your feet. You can, to get more of an inner thigh stretch, you can open your feet wider. If you have really tight inner thighs, you can bring your feet closer together. We're going to hold this for 4 minutes, and I'll give you a couple different options. The first option is just to fold forward and hold here the whole time. The next option is to take a side variation. I'll give you 2 options, and I'll tell you when we're halfway through. So the other option is you can turn to one side and carefully bring your head to your knee. Or you can turn to one side and lift the left arm up overhead, stretching the left side body. And I'll tell you when we're halfway through, so you can then do the other side. So again, 3 options. You can hang forward the whole time, or you can take a right and a left, either rounding the spine, forehead to knee, or stretching one side of the body, which is kind of a continuation of banana pose. So holding here for 4 minutes. I'll tell you when we're halfway through, so that if you're taking one of the options, you can switch to the other side. If you're choosing to fold forward, drop your shoulders, stick your butt out a little bit, and let your head drop. Maybe at first hands to floor, slowly walking your hands forward, one day forearms to floor. If you're taking a head to knee, again, let your head drop, round your spine, turn to the right a little bit. Imagine one day belly button over thigh, although probably not today. You can have your hands on the floor, eventually forearms, elbows on the floor. If you're doing a side stretch, you have an option to have your hand on your thigh. You can have your hand on the outside or inside of your leg. Bring the left arm up overhead, option to look forward or look up towards the ceiling, maybe bringing the forearm to floor eventually, but try to keep the left hip down. Notice anywhere that you're holding tension, and see if you can just relax and give in just a little bit more, letting gravity do the work. So you're not pushing yourself into the posture, you're just letting your body relax into it. Okay, we're at the halfway point, so if you're doing one of the right-left variations, take your time slowly coming up, there's no rush, and then try the other side, maybe bringing head to knee, or stretching the right side body. And again, because we're not congruent, this side might feel different, and that's okay. If you've been folding forward, maybe see if you can fold forward a little bit more, or ease up a little bit. Try to evenly distribute your body weight on your sit bones. Notice if you're shifting your weight to one side. Notice if you're carrying tension in your jaw, your chest, your shoulders, your hips. Again, just trying to relax everything, taking a few breaths.
And then seeing if you can relax even more. About 10 seconds left. Take a slow inhale, slow exhale, and slowly walk yourself back up. Take your time. Bring your legs back together. If you'd like to take a counter stretch, maybe like bend your legs in, give yourself a big hug. Okay, and I'll give you two options for puddle. You can lie down on your back in puddle pose, or you have an option to take a stomach puddle pose, belly savasana. So for stomach puddle, you have a couple options. You can have your elbows out and drop your head down. You can also look to your right, left ear on the towel. You can have your arms down by your sides, palms face the ceiling. If you do choose to look in one direction, I'll tell you when we're halfway through so you can look to the other direction. Again, you're welcome to lie on your back if lying on your stomach is not comfortable. If you're on your stomach and looking in one direction, slowly, carefully, gently lift your head. Look to the other direction, opposite ear on your mat. Send deep belly breaths in and out through your nose to massage the front of your body. Breathe deep into any point of tension. Let the floor hold you up. Okay, if you're looking to one side, slowly lift your head, bring your chin back forward, put your hands on the floor and push up. And if you're on your back, roll off to one side, maybe the other side, and then slowly meet us again in a seated position. So next we'll do, that last posture we did was called straddle pose, and this one's called saddle pose. So close. In 26 and 2 yoga, we'd call this fixed firm. And it's a great toe, ankle, and knee stretch. And in yin, there's lots of variations. So one variation is to have your knees and feet together, hips on your heels, and go back, maybe forearms to floor. If you'd like to take the version that we do in 26 and 2 yoga, you can open your feet and your knees, sit down, go back, and bring your arms over your head or arms up or arms down by your side, right? If you have tight knees and ankles, you can try putting a towel under your butt or under your ankles so there's a little bit more padding there, and then sit back. But the idea is you want to get a little bit of a back bend and a little bit of a toe, ankle, knee, thigh stretch, but never a point of pain. And we're going to hold here for 4 minutes. So if you're in the back bend version of this, it's really good for the sacral lumbar spine. It's good for the lower and middle back. It's a nice chest opener. And of course, it's a really great way to stretch out your quadricep muscles, toes, ankles, knees. And it's a nice counter stretch. In saddle pose, you know, most of us rounded forward in some way, like we bent the spine. And so now here in saddle pose, right, we're bending the spine the other direction, opening the chest. Now again, if you do 26 and 2 yoga with me, the longest we ever hold this one is like a minute. So this is a lot longer than that, right? And if anything starts to like burn or hurt, know that you can come out for a second, wiggle out your toes and feet, and then when it feels good, hop back in. So one of the things that we get to discern in Yin Yoga is the difference between, you know, I don't want to move, I'm stubborn, I'm in a lot of pain, but I don't want to move anyway, so I'm going to stay where I am and I'm just going to like, you know, I'm going to like fight through it, right? Even though I'm in pain. We don't want that. But the other side of that coin is like always having to fix where you are because you will do anything to not have to sit still, right? And I'm in both camps, right? It is both hard for me to sit still and I'm very stubborn and always want to like prove that I can like go the deepest in the posture. And again, this is where yin is like a mental challenge or just an invitation to be good to yourself, right? Like if it's hard for you to sit still, I'm right there with you. Let's just practice. And if you find yourself fidgeting, just like gently, compassionately return yourself back to a little bit of stillness. And if what you're doing is not sustainable, gently, compassionately find a way where it feels a little bit better, right? Maybe with a prop, by going a little bit easier, maybe, you know, bringing the knees wider apart, feet back together. Got about a minute and a half left. If you need to change your position, feel free. And when we do this posture for like 30 seconds, it's a great stretch. Don't get me wrong. It's really wonderful for the toes, ankles. But when we're holding it for 4 minutes, we're going beyond just muscles, right? Like we're really working into the joints, into connective tissue, into fascia. So even if you go a little bit lighter or do a little bit less than you would in like a vinyasa or a 26 and 2 class, to actually get a much longer, deeper stretch. Might feel it a little bit more tomorrow. Make sure you're still breathing. Notice anywhere you're carrying tension. Just try to relax a little bit more. About 30 seconds left. You can stay right where you are, knowing that the end is near. Or if you'd like to go a little deeper, maybe bringing the knees back closer together, or lifting your chest up more for a deeper back bend. Take a slow inhale through your nose. Slow exhale through your nose. Okay. And we're going to carefully come back out. So take your time, either placing your hands on your feet or the floor beside you. Slowly push yourself up. There's no rush. Slowly lifting up. And if you need to do any counter stretches, like lengthening one leg, pushing the ankle back. A down dog can be effective. Just anything to stretch the calves and the ankles. Good. And then make your way onto your back for puddle pose once more. You can close your eyes or open your eyes. You can open your arms and legs. If lying on your back is uncomfortable for your lower spine, that's normal. You're always welcome to roll up a little towel under your lower back, or you can just bend your legs up, feet on the floor, letting your knees rest together, just to take some pressure off of the lumbar spine, right? Especially after we just did that nice back bend. Just want to get a nice long back here. Just notice any sensations, right? Maybe blood flowing back into the knees, into the toes. Yoga postures play around with circulation a little bit. So when we're in a posture, we're often like constricting a little bit of blood in one part of our body, and then like there's more blood in another part of the body, right? And then when we release back out into puddle pose, the body regulates. So you get a nice rush of blood into like the knees or the ankles or the toes, places that were a little bit constricted and stretched. Take a slow inhale through your nose. Slow exhale through your nose. Bend, if your legs aren't already bent, bend your legs up, feet together, let your knees rest together for a moment. We're gonna roll off to one side. Maybe rolling off to the opposite side is the last time you rolled off. Your time, slowly push yourself up. And next we're going to do frog pose, which I don't often do because I don't particularly like this posture. So if you don't like it, I'm right there with you, but it's really good for our hips. So for frog pose, I'll give you a couple different options. We're gonna start in tabletop. You want your ankles in line with your knees, hands on the floor in front of you, and then slowly start to open your knees wider. And if you're able, also open up your feet. So eventually you want your knees and ankles in line the whole time. And you're just slowly going to open your legs more so that your toes point out, but again, ankles in line with the knees, so your legs make a 90-degree angle. Try to keep your hips over your knees as best you can. And as you're ready, you can start to come down, forearms to floor. We're gonna hold here for 4 minutes. I know, I'm right there with you. Okay, now a couple things to keep in mind. If having the ankles in line with the knees is too much, don't do it. Bring your feet in almost for like a wide-legged child's pose, so knees in and feet out, but you still wanna keep sinking the hips down with hips over knees. Now eventually forearms to floor, or maybe even chest to floor, right? And eventually this is a great way to get into like the side splits. So it's a nice hip opener. If it's really intense on the upper body, you can try spreading your arms wider. You can also take turns with your arms. So like having the right arm out and the left arm bent in, and then left arm out, the right arm bent in. Just trying to give you lots of options. Notice if you're coming way forward, try to keep the hips over your knees. So again, this will be a bit of a back bend, a chest opener. And then we're just gonna hold and breathe. Now, especially in postures that are a little bit uncomfortable, like this posture is uncomfortable for me, we'll start to hold tension in the jaw, relax your jaw, or maybe the mind will try to distract us from what's going on. So notice if your mind starts wandering. Our thoughts are like cars on a road, right? Like sometimes they go slow, sometimes they pass each other, sometimes they get into accidents or like there's road rage. But it's important to remember that you are not the cars, you're the road, right? So in yoga and meditation, we're observing our thoughts, but we're not attaching to them. If you notice that your mind is wandering down a rabbit hole, gently, compassionately, maybe say to yourself, thinking, and then just return your thoughts towards your breath. I know when we're a little bit uncomfortable, we'll do anything to like ease that discomfort, right? That's like part of the human condition, but just see if you can just breathe through your discomfort. Already halfway there, 2 more minutes. Notice if your hips have come way forward, bring the hips back over the knees. And if you need to do a little bit less, do a little less. If you want to relax a little bit more, relax a little bit more. You need to bring the feet in or out, feel free. You're always welcome to place a towel under your knees. If the knees are bothering you, or even a towel under your chest to take some pressure off of the shoulders. About 30 seconds left. This is your option. You can stay right where you are, knowing that the end is near, or if you'd like to go just a little bit further, feel free. Otherwise, just breathing into the body. Take a slow inhale through your nose. slow exhale through your nose. And we're going to very slowly come out of it. Place your hands on the floor. Slowly push yourself up. Slowly bring the knees, feet back in close together. If you'd like a counter stretch, you can sit on your butt for a second and just windshield wiper your knees right and left. So there's always opportunity for a counter stretch after the posture, doing whatever feels good for you. And then turn, huddle pose. So we tend to carry emotion in our hips, which is something like, I took a couple of yoga classes in high school, but I took my first like course on yoga in college. And I remember like the teacher being like, we carry emotion in our hips. If you cry in a hip opener, that's normal. And I like totally rolled my eyes and I was like, what is this person talking about? But then one day you experience that, right? Like in a back bend or a hip opener, something like emotional happens. Maybe you've experienced that. Maybe you're still like, I don't know what you're talking about. And that's fine too. But just to say, if after one of those postures, you ever feel like crying a little bit or like a weird emotion bubbles up, maybe you can't stop giggling, just know that that's really normal, right? When we have a stressful experience, like we physically react by like hunching up, right? It's our physical reaction to like trying to protect our internal organs from like, you know, a bear coming at us, right, in ancient times. But to this day, even when we don't have a physical threat, we still hunch forward trying to like protect everything in our, you know, all of our internal organs, all of that stuff. That's our stress response. And so when we open that, when we go backwards or we open the hips, we're releasing some of that tension, but it can feel quite intense in the process, right? So just know if you feel intensity either in hip openers like frog or when you release back out, there's nothing wrong with you. And if nobody's told you that today in general, like there's nothing wrong with you, right? And there's nothing wrong with you doing the posture either. We're just moving into the body. Our next posture is called cat pulling its own tail, which is one of the most delightful names for a yoga posture I can possibly think of. So for this, you're gonna roll off to one side. I'm gonna start by rolling off to my right side and just bring your right arm long in front of you. Straighten both legs, so you want your left hip directly over your right hip. Right leg on bottom. Start by bending your right leg back and see if you can catch your right foot with your left hand. Might not happen today. And if you have a strap nearby or a towel, you're welcome to loop that around your foot and then hold on to that strap or towel. Maybe hooking onto the foot today, maybe not. Okay, you have an option to stay here or start to bring your left top leg out to the right side and you'll feel a nice stretch along the outer thigh and the IT band of that left leg. You can stay here, left hip on top of right hip on the right side body, or for a spine twist, start to bring left shoulder down to the floor, but try to keep your hips stacked. So eventually 2 shoulders on the floor. You can keep your right arm up towards the top of your mat or out to the right of your mat. You can keep your head on the floor looking up or bring your left ear to the floor. We're gonna hold here for 4 minutes. So again, long holds of postures at times can be intense or boring or all of the above, but it's just a nice way, a nice invitation to be still, to breathe, to relax. So especially if you're bringing that left shoulder down to the floor for a spine twist, you know, we've moved our spines right, left, backward, and forward a couple times, but the spine moves in 6 directions, right? Right, left, backward, forward, twisting to each side. This is a great way to kind of wring out the spine a little bit. And if you hear your back pop a little bit like a chiropractic adjustment, that's normal. It's just a shifting of synovial fluid, the gas, the lubrication between the joints, not a bad thing, right? In fact, some people pay a lot of money for it, but we just do it to ourselves in yoga. Try to keep the left hip on top of right hip.
And if you're able to grab your right foot with your left hand, for more of a quadricep stretch, see if you can like push your foot into your hand. So you're actually like kicking your heel away from your butt a little bit. If you feel it too much in the knee, ease up, but eventually there's actually some resistance between the foot and the hand. So rather than drawing your heel closer to your glute, you're actually pushing the foot away from your glute. About halfway through, if what you're doing is not working for you, ease up. Remember, you can always like grab a towel and loop it around your foot and then hold onto the towel so you don't have to grab your foot. If you'd like more of like an outer left thigh stretch, really kick that left foot more to the right. Like actively stretch the left foot out. And if it's too much, you can bring the left leg back down, so left foot pointing towards the back of your mat. Otherwise, just holding still where you are. Again, just noticing, like, where are you holding tension? And where has your mind wandered off to? And by bringing your mind back to your breath, you can slowly start to release a little bit more tension. Breath, mind, and body all working in unison to help you relax just a little bit more. Relax your breath. Relax your body. Relax your mind. About 20 seconds left. This is the point. If you'd like to go a little further, feel free to like push that right foot away from your glute or stretch the left leg to the left or just breathe where you are. Slow inhale. Slow exhale. And we're going to carefully come out. So start, if you have that left foot kicked to the right, start by bringing your left leg down. If you're looking to the left, roll your head back to center. If you are holding onto your right foot with your left hand, gently release that. Legs long. If you'd like, you can like do a counter stretch by bending the knees in and giving yourself a hug. Good. And then roll back onto your back for puddle pose. Open your arms, open your legs, be still. And just noticing any sensations as the body evens out. Let your body be heavy. And let the floor hold you up. Let's do the other side. So roll off to your left this time. Bring your left arm long in front of you. Legs straight, right hip stacking on top of left hip. Take a moment here, resting your ear on your arm. And let's try this side. Start by bending your bottom left leg. And see if you can grab your right foot, your left foot with your right hand. Grabbing left foot with right hand. Again, you can use a towel or any sort of prop, basically to make your arm longer, looping it around your foot.
You can stay here, right hip on top of left hip, right shoulder on top of left shoulder. You can also start to kick your top right foot out to the left side of the room for an outer thigh IT band stretch. You can stay here or start to bring the right shoulder down to the floor, but keep right hip stacked on top of left hip. You can keep your arm up facing the top of your mat. You can bring your left arm to the left side of your mat. You can keep your head on the floor looking up towards the ceiling, or roll your right ear down towards the floor for a whole spine twist, abdominal twist as well. Then we're stretching the left quadricep, the right outer thigh. If you've got a grip on your foot with your hand, maybe try pushing the foot away. It's a nice spine twist, and it's a nice abdominal wall twist as well. Notice where you're holding tension. See if you can relax into the posture. So again, in more yang styles of yoga and more like solar energy, like intense styles of yoga, you're often like constricting your muscles, contracting your muscles to get deeper into postures. And in yin, we're relaxing. And I sometimes hesitate to compare yin so much to vinyasa or to 26 and 2 yoga because it does stand on its own, but it also really was created in reaction to, especially in the West, I think this idea that yoga has to be like hardcore, or it's like handstands, or, you know, like all this intense stuff, like balancing on your arms, balancing on your legs, like contortion. Yin is kind of in reaction to that and saying, you know, we're kind of in a society already that pushes people. What if yoga was an opportunity, instead of like pushing yourself really hard, what if it was an opportunity to slow down? And what if in that process, you actually got a better stretch, right? About a minute left. About 20 seconds left. Take a slow inhale through your nose. Slow exhale through your nose. And we're going to carefully come out. So if you're looking to the right side of the room, roll your head back to center. You have your top right leg kicked out. Return your right leg down back towards the back of your mat. If you have a grip on your left foot with your right hand, release that grip, bringing the legs back together, lying on your left side. And then slowly roll onto your back. Huddle pose. Open your arms, open your legs. Be still and breathe. Last active posture of the day is the only standing posture in Yin. Bend your legs up, feet together, let your knees rest together. Roll off to the side, maybe the opposite side of the last time you rolled off to the side. And if you have no idea which side that is, don't worry about it. Just roll off to one side. Take your time. As you're ready, carefully push yourself up.
Good. And our last active posture of the day is very appropriately called dangling pose. So as you're ready, take your time standing up, especially if you have low blood pressure, like you've been on your back for a while, so take your time standing up. You're gonna open your feet 2 to 3 feet between your feet, really depends on your body, and you'll have time to figure out your step. From here, you're gonna bend your knees, hinge at your hips, and start to go forward. I like to go down with a straight spine, flat back. As you're ready, drop your head down, and then maybe catch opposite elbow and opposite hand. You can take a moment to sway left and right. Maybe bring a little bit more weight into your toes and lift the hips up for a hamstring stretch, but knees can stay bent. And from here, we're gonna hold here for 3 minutes. So the idea is at the end of class, before we take our final Savasana, we're gonna bring a lot of blood to our head. And this is one that like at first might feel great, and then halfway through you're like, whoa, I don't know about this. So know that you can always play around with taking a bigger or a smaller step. You can always bend your knees more. Again, if you have low blood pressure, just be careful when you're coming out of it. If you ever need to come out early, you're just gonna put your hands on the floor and sit down. So you're not gonna roll up, you're automatically going to sit down so that you don't get lightheaded. So we're playing with blood flow, lots of blood rushing towards the brain. An inversion here, right? The head is lower than the heart. It's like giving yourself a mini facial. Good for skin. This gravity is moving the skin, the body in the opposite direction. Notice where you're carrying tension. Just see if you can relax a little bit more. So you're not like actively stretching your body down, and you're just letting gravity do the work. For more of a hamstring stretch, you can bring the weight into the toes more and lift the hips up, straightening the legs. You can always bend the knees more. A little over a minute left. Imagine space between every vertebrae. See if you can relax your head just a little more, letting gravity do the work. And we're relaxing into the posture rather than pushing into the posture. So you're just relaxing everything as you breathe through your nose. About 20 seconds left. This is your time. If you want to go a little deeper, feel free. Take a slow inhale. Slow exhale. Good. When you're ready, bend your knees, put your hands on the floor, and carefully lower down. Take your time as blood flow reverses. You can take a counter stretch in Balasana, garland, squatting here for a second. Good, and then make your way onto your back or onto your stomach for final Savasana, final pebble pose. So if you'd like to be on your stomach, feel free. If you'd like to be on your back or with your legs bent, feel free, up to you. You might feel a lot of interesting sensations, right?
brought a lot of blood towards the brain at the end of class, and now that blood is slowly returning to the heart, back down through the hips, through the toes and the arms, body recalibrating. Draw your attention towards your feet. Let your feet get heavy. Relax through the arches of the feet, tops of the feet, heels and toes. Soften your ankles. Relax your shins and calves, backs of the knees and kneecaps. Notice any tension you're carrying in your hamstrings. Relax your hamstrings and soften your quadriceps. Relax outer thighs, inner thighs, space between the thighs. Relax your hips and your glutes. And then see if you can relax your hips a little more. Let your belly button be heavy like lead. Relaxing the abdominal wall, softening through the lower back. Relaxing the lower back, middle back, upper back, middle back, lower back. Relaxing the stomach, ribs, pectorals, and chest. Soften through your collarbones and armpits, shoulders, shoulder blades, scapula, letting your torso be at ease. Relax through the upper arms and elbows, forearms and wrists. Let your hands be really heavy. Relaxing palms, tops of the hands, knuckles, each and every finger. Relaxing the hands, the arms, shoulders, and chest. Soften through your neck and throat. Relax your chin. Relax your jaw. Relax the space behind your ears, outer ears, inner ears. Let your earlobes be heavy. Relax your jaw. Relax bottom lip, upper lip, tongue, roof of the mouth, space behind the tongue, gums. Relax each and every tooth. Soften the space between your upper lip and nose, relaxing through the bridge of the nose and the cheeks, under eyes. Relax the space between your eyebrows, relaxing your eyebrows, eyelids. Let your eyeballs be heavy in their sockets. Relax each and every eyelash. Soften the space on the outsides of the eyes. Notice any tension you're carrying in your forehead, and relax your forehead. Relax your hairline, scalp, whole head, each and every hair follicle. Take a slow inhale through your nose, feel your chest rise. Exhale through your mouth, letting go of any lingering tension in the body. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. 1 more time. Inhale through your nose. And anything you need to sigh out, just let it go. Sinking deep into the floor. Allow the floor to hold you up. Just loosening your grip a little bit more. Sinking in a little bit more. Letting go. Relax and be still. Slow inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose. And just allow yourself to be at peace. Stretching the body, feeling peace in the mind or the heart. All of those things take practice, right? We don't practice them every day. Like, it's hard to stretch your hamstrings the same way. Like, it's hard to let go of things you can't control. So just always remembering that this yoga is a practice. Just an opportunity to practice letting go, relaxing, sinking into the body, melting the heart space. Stay in final Savasana for as long as you'd like. It is always an honor to be here with all of you.